Welcome back. Well, it's the dilemma most parents will face at some point. Is it okay to lie to your children? And how do you know when twisting the truth has gone a little too far?
Well, our next guest has the answer. Parenting expert Claire Orange has created a definitive guide for the do's and don'ts of telling children little white lies. And she joins us now from Perth. Good to see you, Claire. First of all, you say there are 4 types of lies we tell our kids. What are they?
Right, so we tell our children social lies, you know, the ones where we shield people from what we actually want to say. We tell our children mythical lies, the ones about, you know, the things we make up, magic. And we tell our children developmental lies, the things that protect them around their age. And then we tell our children lies that protect them perhaps from the real truth because they're not ready for it yet.
Well, Claire, let's start with the social situation. You say that teaching our kids to fib, sounds a little bit more gentle than lie, could actually be the best thing for them. Why is that?
Well, I don't know if either of you have had a grandparent give a child a birthday present and ask if they like it and that child to say no. You know, it's pretty harsh. It's pretty harsh, isn't it? And you kind of cringe on the inside. Or if you ask a child for feedback on something you're wearing and they tell you the truth and you actually don't want to hear it, well, social lies are those things that we help children to kind of soften or massage or stretch or whatever word we want to use, the truth, because it's kind and it shows empathy. And because it's our truth, I don't like what you're wearing, doesn't mean it's the truth. So gentle words, being kind, having empathy, that's what we need to teach every child.
Let's talk about mythical lies then. When you say all parents tend to unintentionally create a boogeyman, you know, what do you mean by that?
Well, so we'll be a bit careful with this. So even in our beautiful, magical telling of stories to our children, we tend to include things that add the fear factor in, which usually is around controlling behaviour. So, you know, have you made it onto the naughty list?
Yep.
Because, that's going to affect your present count. And, you know, I remember telling my boys when they were little about that tooth fairy. You know, she'd come along and use the shiny ones for castles and the other ones for toilets. So we tend to
That's not what the tooth fairy does. I know the tooth fairy, and I know you were lying through your teeth about that.
Yes, I'm practised in the art. It's all right.
Let's get on to the most common developmental lies that parents tell. It's often in response to that question that we're all just so anxious about getting, which is where do babies come from?
I just broke into a sweat.
How do we handle that one?
Well, I think it really depends on your comfort level as a parent and the age of your child, and sometimes the birth order of your child. So when a child asks that question, where did the baby come from, be sure that's what they really want to know, is the down low on all of that, because that can be something they're not really asking that. And I think depending on the age of your child, you can change their truth as well. I'm a big one for just doing things when a child is ready. There's plenty years to get knowledge, plenty. So, you know, your 2, 3, 4-year-old possibly doesn't need to know all the details.
They're probably saying, when is this baby going back to where it came from?
Absolutely, absolutely. Is there a plug that we can use so it never arrives?
Yeah, a plug. Finally, Claire, and just quickly, you know, often a family pet doesn't feel very well. They go to the farm. Is that the right thing to tell a child?
Well, these protective lies that we tell our children, I'll tell you 3 things about that. The first thing is, for some children, they're not ready for that truth. Or maybe they've had other things happen, so they've had a lot else happen, and you just want to protect them from some things in life because they have to learn it one day. We all get the tough stuff in life one day. Doesn't need to be today. However, if it means that you're going to protect your child and say it's involving grief, like the loss of a dog or a grandparent or a marriage breakup, and your child starts the grief process after everyone else because you've protected them from that, sometimes it's quite unfair because you get these out-of-sync grief processes in families and the child is left struggling to manage their grief and do it quickly because it's not working for the rest of the family. And I think that the third thing is that when we tell protective lies, we've got to make sure that everyone's in on that picture because our kids don't live in bubbles. So if your child's going to get educated out there in the playground or by a sibling in the absolute truth. They go, no, the dog, you know, popped its clogs. You want to be the person to tell that child. Yeah. You want to be the person to make sure that they hear it from the heart of love.
Good advice, Claire. And as you say, every child, every situation is different.
Absolutely.
We appreciate your advice on this. Thank you so much. And for more professional parenting tips, you can head to bestprogramsforkids.com.